Hey guys, welcome back to DJ's Taste Testers. I'm DJ, of course. I want to thank everyone who watched my last video, and if you haven't seen it yet, please do check it out about Melvin Gordon tequila. Lots of good stuff about a great player, as well as a good margarita recipe. Now today I want to do something totally simple, really easy. I want to do something more in my wheelhouse, a drink I personally have loved for a long time. It is a whiskey Coke. And I wanted to use a whiskey right here that you need to reevaluate in case you have any negative opinions on it. And there's good reason as to why you could. You might have had a bad experience with it. Most people have. It is the New England Patriots rushing offense. And one particular player I want to tell you about is Damien Harris and why you should be grabbing him out of that backfield for next season. All right, so after 2020, I want to make sure we're all clear on a few things and have the right perspective about who this team is and what this rushing offense is, okay? See, things could have gotten mixed up because over the past 5 seasons, this team has been in the top 10 in a few different rushing categories. 2nd in rushing attempts per season, 6th in rushing yards per season, and 3rd in rushing touchdowns per season. That's a team who identifies themselves as a running team regardless of who the quarterback has been. And with 502 carries this year, they were 3rd most in the league behind the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans. So what happened? Well, we had, I guess you could say, a few too many glasses to feed. There were 5 players on the Patriots who had at least 35 attempts with 1 rushing touchdown. That's the most in the league. Now let me grab my fancy bartender tool here for all you craft bartenders out there and show you what I mean. James White finished the season with 35 rushing attempts and 2 rushing touchdowns. Rex Burkhead finished the season with 67 rushing attempts and 3 rushing touchdowns. Sony Michel finished the season with 79 rushing attempts and 1 rushing touchdown. Damien Harris finished the season with 137 rushing attempts and 2 rushing touchdowns. And finally, our quarterback, Cam Newton, finished the season with 137 rushing attempts and 12 rushing touchdowns. I mean, by far the most on the team, obviously. So what we got right here is 5 sips of whiskey and no real reason to buy any of them. No fun. But there's positive outlook on the way, okay? There will be some off-season changes that have not happened yet, but are going to happen that are going to help out our boy Damien right here. So first off, Cam Newton will not be the quarterback going into next year. That means we got quite a few carries returning back to the team vacated. Then we got our guys James White and Rex Burkhead, okay? 2 guys kind of similar, both getting a little bit older, both who have seen a plateau or they have declined in carries per season over the past few years, and both who are unrestricted free agents. I don't expect either one of them to return, and even if they do, they're not going to take up much of those vacated carries at all. All right, so we're left with 2 guys, Sony Michel, Damien Harris, and about 170 vacated carries and a dozen rushing touchdowns. So what do? Well, we got to figure out which one is going to be the guy, and that's Damien Harris. Let me show you why. Right here's a chart of each Damien Harris and Sony Michel's 2nd season in the league. Now, a couple things are glaringly obvious. Michel had nearly double the carries that Damien Harris did, yet barely ran for 200 more yards than Harris did. Harris's 5 yards per attempt seriously outpaces Michel's, and you can see the difference. Now, what does flip is Michel's rushing touchdowns over Harris, 7-2. Now, to put that in perspective, Sony had 41% of his rushing touchdowns, the team's rushing touchdowns, whereas Harris only had 10% of the team's rushing touchdowns. Glaringly different. Now, that's not going to sustain. When Damien becomes the starter next year, he's going to get those carries. He's going to get those opportunities, okay? So now we got our guy. We got Damien. We got his opportunities and all the vacated carries, and now we got 2 more ingredients to finish off this really great whiskey Coke. So the next ingredient we want to use is our offensive line, and you'll be hard-pressed to find a better offensive line than what's going on in New England. These guys are atop the league, okay? 3rd in adjusted line yards, 4th in power success rate, and 2nd in stuffed rate. They're giving the running backs ample yards to work with, rarely let them get hit at or behind the line of scrimmage. Next, like we talked about in the previous video, the running back can get help from the other side of the ball. And what we got right here is a special flavor of defense, a Bill Belichick coach defense, one that's atop the league every season. And due to opt-outs this year and a bad offense on the other side of the ball, they just weren't able to live up to expectations. So let's see how we did. Well, when the running back getting all the opportunities with his talent, an offensive line remaining the same, and a defense coming back as strong as it was, you're talking about a strong, good drink right here. Definitely good enough as your second or third string drink, and probably good enough as your first string. I highly suggest going out and getting Damien right now, because as the offseason goes on and we start to see all these changes happen, his value is not going to be the same and his price is going to go up. Thanks for watching, guys. Seriously appreciate it. Looking forward to doing a lot more of these. Follow us on Twitter at @joinourcircle_. Follow me at AirDJ. The underscores are going to be worth it. And subscribe and like, guys. It really helps us out a ton. Thank you so much. See you next time.